Hey guys, my name is Jung Ho, and I want to talk about the latest topic regarding student loan forgiveness announced by the White House recently, and try to go over every little detail that you might have questions for. So let's dive right in. So this is being filmed September 5th, 2022, and this can and will be outdated soon, and so make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss anything. So the big thing in this announcement is that borrowers who hold federal loans with the Department of Education and who make less than $125,000 for individuals and $250,000 or less for married couples and households, and who receive a Pell Grant are eligible for up to $20,000 in student loan forgiveness. But for people who still have federal loans as well as still make less than that threshold but did not receive a Pell Grant are eligible for up to $10,000 in student loan forgiveness. As for the background for Pell Grants are usually given to low and middle class students, and they need to be eligible based off of their parents' income. And eligibility for the $125,000 threshold as well as a $250,000 threshold for married couples is based off of adjusted gross income for either the year 2020 or year 2021. So that means it considers any type of tax reduction or adjustments. For example, if you contribute to a 401k, that will decrease your adjustable gross income and making you more likely to be able to meet the threshold. So the Department of Education may or may not have your income data in file. And if you have some type of income-based repayment plan, then they'll most likely have it, given that your payment method is based off your income. However, if they don't, they will be most likely an application that comes out early October from what I read, and they are advising to apply up to and hopefully by November 15th-ish, so that they could give around 4 to 6 weeks of application processing time, so that everything could be written off and forgiven before the repayment period kind of resumes in the new year. Let's say you have a large portion of your student loans forgiven. Well, you have to pay some type of federal tax on it or any type of tax on it. And thanks to the American Rescue Plan that was passed in Congress last year, we don't actually have to pay any type of federal taxes that are forgiven during this time. But there is a possibility that you may have to pay some form of state tax depending on what state you live in. Now, let's say you actually paid off a little bit of your loans during this COVID period, and you want to see whether or not you can get some type of refund. And so the date that is given is March 13, 2020. And if you paid any form of payment for your student loans after that period, it seems like you could reach out to your student loan provider and ask for a refund, given that that will be eligible for forgiveness. However, for anything that's before that or prior to that, it seems like unfortunately that you won't necessarily be able to get a refund for it or be forgiven during this period. Now, the second portion of this announcement is that there is a final deferment for the student loan payment that's supposed to end in December 31st, 2022. There's a large portion of this announcement that's actually pretty big, and I don't believe that it's getting a lot of the attention, given that, yes, that we're saving a lot of this $10,000, the $20,000 that we're gonna get some type of student loan forgiveness for. But there's another portion, which is the income-based repayment plan, that's, I believe, not getting enough attention that it should. So the detail of it is that the monthly payment for student loan on an income-based repayment plan are capped at 5% of monthly income. I think that goes down from a 10% to 5%. Part of this includes raising the amount of income that's excluded from the calculation from 150% of the federal poverty line to around 225%. This will actually eventually lower the amount that is owed by these borrowers, and actually bring some of these lower income borrowers to about $0 of repayment every month. And a big portion of this little slivet means that they will also forgive any amount of interest in this income-based repayment plan to be forgiven every time and every month. So that means, as an example, let's say you owe $100 per month technically, but then because of the income-based repayment plan, you owe maybe 70% or $70, I mean. And so that means that you have around $30 that's left over. And usually in those cases, the $30 will actually go back to your original amount. And in that case, it'll continue to grow even though you're technically paying things off. But in this case, now the $30 will actually be forgiven. And also to add to all of this is that they'll also forgive the remaining balance as long as it's less than $12,000 after 10 years of repayment. But prior to this, it was actually around 20 years that you had to pay off before it's forgiven. And lastly, they'll also try to strengthen the public service loan forgiveness plans so that the eligibility is a lot more clear and avoid any type of implementation failures. That pretty much wraps up the big portions of these announcements. And this announcement is not really solving the big picture of what's really going on, of what is the root cause issue of everything that's going on with this. The rising tuition costs as well as any high interest rates that's making it impossible for students to really repay back their loans. But hopefully this is the first step of somewhat positive change so that students are able to better their lives and really try to move up the social mobility so that they're able to provide a better life for their family and their future generations. So that is all. I thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please like the video and subscribe if you want to be up to date on the latest topic on this issue. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.